you know, on the listing sheet, like perfect for first-time home buyers, you're going to turn people off subconsciously and not even know you're doing that. So leave that out. But you can talk to your sellers about that and just say, you know, this is a great family home. Always be complimenting, you know, their home. And, you know, obviously if it's a home with 4 or 5 bedrooms, they're either going to have someone come in that has a lot of kids or has aging parents. And, you know, you want to talk to your sellers about that. Like who is the person that's going to be buying this home and how are we going to market to them? So then we're going to, listing presentation. Sorry, you're going to hold an effective open house. So the more people you get in, the faster it'll sell, obviously. Once you put it on the MLS, do the reverse prospecting and email the agents that allow reverse prospecting. If you don't know how to do that, it's part of the MLS class, I believe, that Donna teaches. Or you could call anyone on the ALC and they will be able to tell you how to do that. So once you get your listing, you put it in, you do reverse prospecting, and all of those people in that price point that allow reverse prospecting will get an email about your new listing. You want to do an open house. I used to door knock 100 houses in the same neighborhood. You can do a special invitation. You can do a neighbors only open house, which accomplishes 2 things. So if you do a neighbors only open house for a half hour right before the public open house, you'll get all the looky-loos out of the way. The neighbors, you know, unless they know someone or have someone in their family that wants to buy the house, they want to just see what the house looks like on the inside. They're nosy. So you get all those people out of the way. Then when the public open house comes, you know that these are serious buyers, most likely pre-approved buyers, and ready to go. Also, they see that you're working hard. They know you're going above and beyond. You're knocking on doors. You're giving them information about the market, about their neighborhood. And that goes a long way if they're thinking of listing. Also, you can grow your database by doing that, because then you ask them, have you ever wondered what your house is worth? Do you have an agent that you could call if you had a question about real estate? Okay, you know, can I take your information? Here's my business card, that type of thing. You're just growing your business by door knocking. Then you provide, you know, the open house provides an opportunity for face-to-face prospecting for people that come in without an agent. You want to build rapport. You don't want to be the agent that doesn't say hello, that doesn't talk to them, that just lets them walk around. As far as the open houses go, there are classes that we teach on how to run a successful open house. If you haven't taken one, I definitely would recommend that you take one. I'm a talker, so when people come in, I ask them, you know, do you live in the neighborhood? Are you renting? Do you have a house to sell? Very non-threatening, very conversation-like, and you're finding out, you know, are they just starting the process? Are you just starting? Are you only looking in Norwell, or are you looking in other towns? You know, I can put you on the MLS, things like that. So take that open house class if you have not taken that yet. Okay. So, okay. You want to put the listings on social media and make sure that it's shared from your business page to your personal page. We're always programming people that we're in real estate and that we are top of mind. When they think of real estate, they're thinking of you. Share it on social media, text the link, you know, text the KW app, share as much as you can on all the social media sites, and continue to share it every day until your open house, until you get it under agreement. You could have the same property and you could say, you know, great data for a new listing. Here's my new listing. Taking pictures for my new listing. Now it's listed. Those can be 2 different posts. Then great, crazy busy open house. It's a great time to sell. That's another one. This is all for the same house, but people think that you are killing it in real estate because you are so busy, because all they're seeing is post after post after post. And obviously mix that in with some personal posts as well. So door knocking, leverage the internet. 92% of buyers use the internet for their property search, so you definitely want to leverage the internet. If you have a Facebook business account, it just solidifies you as a professional. So that's really important, as opposed to just putting everything on your personal page. If you share from your business page to your personal page, it will say that it's coming from that page. So it just solidifies you as a professional. Use images when you post on Facebook. People like to look at pretty homes. Tweet tips about moving and staging. I'm not the best Twitter tweeter. So take a class in, if you need to learn about that. You could set up a Pinterest board. I know a lot of successful agents use Pinterest as well. Engage, share it, have other agents share it. We're all in this together. If there's a community Facebook page, share it to that as well. I know I live in Weymouth. We have Weymouth is Everything, South Weymouth, Parents of Weymouth, all kinds of pages that I can share my listings to. So you want to just do a little extra research when you're on Facebook and see where else you could be sharing your listings. And share it to your database, say, hey guys, here, the more they see you, posting, and the more they're getting emails and, different communication from you, the more you are staying top of mind, which is the goal. So that when they hear of someone, they think of you that has a real estate need, they think of you. Communicate with sellers. Find out when is the best time to communicate. Do you want a weekly phone call? All right, 4 o'clock on Friday, that's when I'm calling my seller. Do you want a daily phone call? Some sellers don't want to be bothered until something's going on. Others want to be bothered even if there's nothing going on, and you call and say, no offers, no showings, nothing's going on, and then you can tell them, I told you we priced it too high. So time block on the calendar for that. If you're going to communicate with them at a specific time, you want to put that in your calendar. And it's just effective communication. It's really important to communicate with your sellers and give them updates, even if there's nothing to update. There's always something to update, because you're always looking for that buyer for their home. You can say, I reached out to 50 agents that sold in the same neighborhood. I reached out to people that sold in the same price point and asked them if they have buyers. You want to just constantly be working for them. And if you put a for sale sign in the yard and just drop off the grid, they're not gonna realize that you're working for them, and you could be doing a million things behind the scenes. So it's really important to keep that effective communication. Always look to match their communication style. Mirror and match. We do classes on that as well. If they're calm and relaxed, you want to be calm and relaxed. If they're, really in your face, you just want to connect with them on that subconscious level. Be prompt. If you say you're gonna be there for an open house at 1/4 of, be there at 1/4 of. Don't be late. Just do what you say you're gonna do. Don't ever talk down to them. keep a log of who came in. I mean, usually on, what you call it? Sorry, one second. I'm drawing a blank.
Showtime.
Thank you. Showing time. Usually on showing time, they'll keep the log for you, which is great. You can say when you showed it, what time, who saw it. You can make notes in there when you're taking your own buyers out to see homes. So, you know, in showing time, that could be your log. But you can go back in and say, you know, it's a great way to negotiate in a great script for your sellers. If you need a price reduction, you can say, look at, we've had 47 people in, no offers or one lowball offer. By this point, we should have had X amount of offers. So I think we have to take a look at the price.
Dara, I don't think I've ever done Showtime. What is that on? Did you say Showtime?
Showing time.
Showing time?
Yep. So if you look at a listing sheet on the MLS, under showing instructions, it'll say schedule with showing time.
Okay.
And it's an option that you have when you put a listing in to schedule it with showing time.
Okay.
And it will bring you to that program, and you can schedule online, or you can call them and they'll schedule it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Include all decision makers. So anytime, first of all, when you're going to the listing presentation, you want all the decision makers there because they have to all sign. Anytime that there is one, you know, more than one person that's going to be making decisions, whether it's about price, or you don't want to cause, you know, family drama. Hey, when can we schedule a 3-way call with the brother or whatever? You know what I mean? It's important to involve everybody so that communication, it's not like telephone where something gets misconstrued. So try to either meet in person with all the decision makers or call, you know, and add some, you know, the people to the call if you can. So that's important. Always be positive, even when you're giving bad news. Try to find the good. Sometimes it's not easy, but, you know, try to always be positive. You want to leave them with a good feeling about you. So you don't want to be like, nobody saw your house this week. You know, just say, well, you know, we can either give it another week, or here are your options, that type of thing. You still have to remain professional. Always tell the truth. An excellent customer experience will set you apart. Again, do what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to call at a certain time, call at a certain time. Customers do business with you based on their perceived value and your service. So it's important to always keep that in mind. And always think about customer service and how you can do better, because we can all do better all the time. So just, you know, make a list of what you do. Do the same, have a checklist, do the same thing for each of your clients. And that way you'll have the reputation and you won't get confused. And if this is, you know, unless it's a closing gift or something that's specific to them, but if you always do a pre-listing packet in a basket with a candle and a book, then do that for everybody. And that will set you apart as far as your customer service goes. Be solutions oriented. It took me a long time in this business to not go on the roller coaster ride with my sellers, you know, and my buyers as well. It's very difficult when you're in real estate, so you care about people. It's hard to not get wrapped up in their emotions. And in Bold, we have a saying, keep your emotions in between the lines. And when I started putting on my problem solving hat, instead of, you know, curling up in the corner in the fetal position because everything's falling apart around me, you know, now I am the professional. If I can't solve a problem, I find out who can solve a problem. Because 99% of issues that come up in a real estate transaction can be solved. I mean, unless it's an act of God, someone can solve the problem for the most part. So if you think that way and you don't get caught up in the emotion, they'll have more respect for you. They'll see you as being very professional, and they'll see you as the problem solver. Part of reaching out to vendors, if you plan on staging your listings, you want to reach out to different stagers. Hey, can we have coffee? What do you do? What's your pricing? You want to get into a good relationship with them so that they can give you business, you can give them business, and it's a win-win. Communication tips: be sincere, be honest and reliable, focus on their needs, wants, and values. And again, that goes back to motivation. What's motivating them to sell? Predictability: deliver what's promised and expected. Exceptionality: provide the extraordinary and uncommon. Responsiveness: report quickly and reliably. Don't make them wait more than a reasonable time to get back to them. If they call you in the morning, get back to them by the evening. I know we have a lot going on. Everybody has a lot going on. But if you don't get back to them for 3 days, it's not going to end well. I'll tell you that right now. So quick response, and referrals and repeat business. So one of the goals is repeat business from them. People that, buy and sell real estate, most people end up having 2 or 3, sometimes 4 homes in their lifetime. You want to be their agent for all 4 of those homes. Repeat business, referral business. When you sign the listing, hey, do you know anyone else that needs my help right now, that is thinking of buying, selling, or investing in real estate? Do me a favor, when you go to work, when you go to the gym, when you go to church, wherever you're going, if you hear of anyone, can you let me know? I work by referral, and it's important to me to work with really good people, and good people know other good people. So, and of course, they just signed the listing. They're going to say, of course. When you sign the purchase and sale, yay, congratulations, you signed the purchase and sale. Who else do you know that I can help? They're happy, you're working for them, it's going great. And just constantly throughout the transaction, ask for more business, because that's how you grow. So the listing presentation, let me see, bring it together. Yeah, this is your turn listing presentation. I don't really know how we can do that over Zoom. I can tell you how I do mine, and if you guys have any input or suggestions, that would be great. This is the last slide that I have, so I'm going to change this view. Hold on one second. Nope, I'm not. Oh, I almost lost you. Oh, please. Okay, let me see. Let me share. Okay, here we go. So when I go on a listing, has everybody done a listing presentation yet? Or are you still just growing your business and working with buyers? Have you just started? Are you working at all yet?
I've had 2 listings. I haven't been on a listing appointment. They were family. I predominantly work with buyers right now. I've been in the business for like 2 years. But
Okay.
like just recently this week, actually, Melissa Garlisi just did like a live listing presentation like an hour ago. And
Yep.
It was awesome. So that was huge. So that was really encouraging, I think, for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's hard to bring people with you on a listing presentation, because if you don't know them, the best way to do it is really either to watch a listing presentation live. If the person, like if I have a family member and I say, hey, can I bring someone with me? That's fine. But if I'm calling on a for sale by owner or an expired, I guess you could say this is my partner, but
Okay.
it's a little difficult because some sellers might be turned off by that. So it's kind of hard to do that. But for my listing presentation, I always, I let them show me around the house, the basics, and, I ask questions about any upgrades they've done, anything like that that is important to them. I talk about my marketing plan, and then I talk about the home selling process, which a lot of times they don't know what they're responsible for. They don't know certain things of what it's going to cost, all of that. So I discuss that with them. When I do the CMA, I tell them this is how we price a home. So we look at what has sold, and we go out in time, and we go out in distance. So we go back 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and I go out, quarter of a mile, a third, 0.25, 0.3, 0.4, to try to find similar homes with the same square footage, similar square footage, and similar number of beds and baths in a similar style. We also look at what's currently under agreement. We don't know what it's going to sell for, but we can look at how many days it was on, what it was priced at, and how many days to the offer. So if it was on for a long time, how many times did they have a price break? All of that you can see in the MLS. So those are important things to consider when you're pricing a house, because you don't want, depending on their motivation, maybe they want to wait forever for that magic number, and you start there, and that's fine. But, you just want to give them as much information as you can. And then you want to look at what's currently on the market, because if we come on the market this week, this is going to be your competition. So you look at how many days those homes have been on the market, when they came on. If they just came on and you're coming on as well, maybe strategically we want to come on a little bit less. I always show pictures so they can see the condition. Pictures lie a lot of times, but if a house has hardwood floors throughout and your house has all carpeting, that's going to make a difference to a buyer that's looking at the same two houses. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
So I go through, but I explain to them why I got to that number, because they're already thinking a number in their head before you ever even get there. So you have to support why you're advising them of what you're advising them. And I never just give one number. Usually I give a range, and I say, depending on their motivation, again, you don't always want to start high, but we've been surprised in the seller's market. We've had a lot of homes that are over asking price. Multiple offer situations, 17 offers on one that I heard of this week. So, the buyers are out there, and you just have to really be strategic about it. You're not going to know until you know what their motivation for selling is.
Question, Dara.
Yeah.
Question, does an appraiser consider that when they're doing their appraisal? Like that the house has gotten so many offers, or houses in the neighborhood have gotten like so many offers and actually sold for more than the listing price?
Yeah, I make it a point to tell them how many offers I've gotten. But they do this for a living, so they
Right.
know what the market is. They know that if it's a seller's market. You still have to compare the homes to other homes. I mean, you have to say what has sold.
Right.
That's the determining factor, because that's when an appraiser is going to do. And you want to say that to the seller. I always say, listen, we don't want to have appraisal issues. And if I get 17 offers and they're 50 grand over asking, I make them put that in there, that they have the cash to pay the difference if the house doesn't appraise.
Okay.
And it's actually a strategy for you guys. If you have a buyer that has the cash and they don't care, you write on the offer, buyer will pay the difference between purchase price and appraised value in cash, so that it's not an issue for the seller.
Okay.
Because a lot of times agents won't take, the highest price offer because they don't want appraisal issues. But
Right.
if your buyers don't care and they want the house that much and they're willing to overpay for it, then go for it. I had that happen. I had, this poor girl lost out on so many, this family lost out on so many bids. And, oh, my screen is doing something weird. Is anybody else's screen doing anything weird?
No.
No.
Can you guys see me?
Yep.
Yes.
My screen is totally black. Oh. Okay.
Technology.
It keeps like blinking and then going black. So I'm
I
not
wonder
sure
if
what
it's
that's
pouring
about.
here. I don't know. I wonder if it has anything to do with weather.
Oh, maybe. No, I don't think it's doing anything here yet. Let me just it didn't need to be plugged in, but I'm going to plug it in anyways to see if that helps. 1 second.
Justin, I was on that class with Melissa too. Wasn't that good?
Yeah, that was awesome. It was so
I mean,
good, actually.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
It was
I
like
was
exactly
there.
what I
I'm gonna
needed.
hire
to.
her and forget it.
She was
Yeah,
so
it
good.
was really good.
Oh, you were on it too. She's a tough actor.
Yeah, yeah. I got a lot of ideas though.
Yeah,
Lots of
really good.
notes.
Sorry.
I have no idea what is going on with this. It's a brand new laptop. Sorry, guys.
You're fine from here. You're not blinking or anything.
All right. Well, if you see me, then I'll just keep talking. What is that? What is going on? Nope. I don't know. Sorry. All right, I changed the view. I think it might have been the view. All right, can you hear me still?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, that could be a strategy as far as if I had a couple that she kept, and I say she because she was the ultimate decision maker, kept losing out and was so disappointed and just got outbid, and her in-laws her father-in-law was a builder or a retired builder, so he would come into these houses and be like, I know you love the house, but the foundation's cracked, or he was talking her out of every house. And finally we found one, and it was in the same neighborhood as her brother, and they were going to put the offer in, and I said, it's way too high. And she said, we don't care, we'll pay the difference if it doesn't appraise. And I said, okay, you understand though that you may never get that value may not be there in the future. And she said, but I don't care, I want to be near my family. And the agent said the only reason she accepted my offer is because I put that wording in there. So it is a strategy that you can use if they do have the cash and they don't care. And a lot of them don't, especially now with it being a seller's market and multiple offer situations. They'll try anything. So that's a good strategy.
Are they still doing offer letters?
Everyone's doing offer love letters.
Okay. Yeah.
Love letters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the seller, honestly. You have to present everything, that you have to present the whole offer that is given to you to the seller, and if that's part of their offer, you have to present it. But you may want to present the love letters last, because like we're taught, logic makes them think, emotion makes them act. So if you present and say, okay, we got this offer, and this is the letter, and it's from this couple that just got married and they love the house so much and blah, 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 then you're not doing them the best service to get the most money if they are, going to go with someone just because they have a picture of their baby. Like, you might want to
Okay.
present, you might want to say, like, this is, you know, this is the price, these are the conditions, based on this, this is what it is. Now let's discuss who the buyers are and then read the love letters. So that they're already thinking, this is the offer we want, it's the amount of money we want, you know, things like that.
Okay,
And some don't care. Some, you know, they don't need the money or whatever their motivation is, and they just want it to go to this cute little couple that grew up in the town and all that stuff. I actually had one time in Braintree in the Highlands, several years ago, and the buyer, before they opened house, the buyer went and put a love letter in the door of the seller. And I was so mad because they instantly wanted to go with this. We did end up going with her, but then she backed out of the deal. So I knew, because it was an elderly couple and they just thought that this letter was the sweetest thing. And I had, you know, I ended up with probably 7 love letters, but that they got to them first. And that's not, you have to tell your buyers, like, you can't do that. That's not okay. That's not ethical. You know what I mean? But so you have to handle those love letters with kid gloves delicately. Do you guys have other questions or anything that you've come up against so far? When you leave the listing presentation, always send a personal note card. Whether you get the listing or not, it's just good business. Thank you for your time. Thank you for meeting with me. Your house is beautiful. Whatever it is.
Have you lost any houses to inspections?
Yes. I had a foundation issue once that that the buyers walked away from. Then, you know, once you have that information and you have it, an inspection report in hand, you have to tell the next buyers coming through. And so he ended up taking it off the market because nobody was gonna buy a house that was, you know, doesn't have a good foundation.
Right.
And you always want to tell, you know, when you're working with buyers, you always want to tell your buyers that, you know, there's going to be something wrong with the house no matter what. So even brand new construction can have issues sometimes, and especially like older homes, you know, they can be kept up and that's great, but usually there's something. We negotiate the big ticket items. We don't negotiate, you know, a light switch or little things that, you know, you don't want to upset the sellers with nitpicking. You want to negotiate safety items. You want to negotiate things that are big ticket, expensive items. You know, they're not going to replace all the carpeting. If it's priced to sell, it's priced to sell. So things like that. And you also, that's part of your pricing though, as a listing agent. You know, you take into consideration the condition and things like that.
Thank you. So many steps before you get to the closing, right?
Yeah, you know what though, like anything, it's just once you do it a couple of times, you're gonna learn something new every single deal you do. I was out of the Braintree office before I came to Norwell, and in Braintree, Weymouth, I've never dealt with septic, and now I deal with septic issues, like septic tanks, and that was never, when I saw Title V, I'm like, what's Title V? Like, I don't even know what that is. And so, you know, having to learn about septic systems and, you know, following home inspectors around, you learn a lot from paying attention.
Right.
You learn a lot from other agents, go to open houses once we open back up and see how other agents do it. You're going to pick something up from everybody. You're going to pick something different up from everybody, something that works for you, something that doesn't. Some agents, all they do is call their database. Some agents, all they do is door knock. You're going to run your business the way, lead generation doesn't necessarily mean phone calls. It could be pop buys. It could be, network, business to business. You need to do something that's going to make you happy, because if it's painful to do it, you're not going to do it and you won't have a business. So, everybody runs their business a little differently, and you just have to find what works for you.
True. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me just go through this real quick. It just says write down, a list of people that you're going to be calling for the next class. We don't have to take a time out to do any of that, because, if you contacted people today, if you called people and you want to follow up with a personal note, it was great speaking to you today. Let me know if you hear of anyone that has a real estate need. I'll take great care of your referrals. Very basic. The note cards are so easy to do, and people, nowadays everything's technology. They're missing that personal touch. I love the pop buys. I love the wind during quarantine. It's a personal touch, and people really need that during like these crazy times. So a little effort goes a long way as far as that's concerned.
Do you give out like little referral gifts?
Yeah, if I get a referral, I give a thank you card with usually a gift card. And it can be as small as, a Dunkin' Donut gift card. My hairdresser gave me one time, and I got her a bottle of white wine. It's called Relax. And I put a note on there and said, relax, and let me take great care of your referrals. So little things.
Well, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a website called Pop By Ideas, POPBY,
Mhm.
ideas.com, and there's a lot of like really good ideas on that for marketing and things
Yeah,
like
they
that.
have some cute sayings and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been camping the past couple of weeks. I'm going camping this weekend, and I made stickers that say you'll make s'more money when you list with me, with my business card, and I'm buying the s'mores marshmallows, and that's going to be like a camping Popeye. So just to be marketing while I'm down
Right.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So things like that, but that website has a ton of ideas. All right, so this is recall and remember. The 3 phases of your listing relationship are staging the property, marketing the listing, and communicating with the seller. Staging is important because the buyers value it, and it obviously you may get more money for the home. The pricing is number 1 in your 14-point marketing plan, because if the house is priced correctly, if the house is priced incorrectly, it doesn't matter how well it's staged or marketed, it probably won't sell. So pricing, condition, those are the 2 major things.
Sarah, I'm sorry, can I ask you a question? Do the agents always pay for the staging, or do they ever split it with the sellers, or?
Typically, I haven't heard of a seller paying for it. However, there is no industry norm. Like, we don't say this is how everybody does it. At Keller Williams, we're all running our own businesses. So you're running your business how you want to run it. If you want that to be a charge back to the seller, then that's how you run your business.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, I mean, typically the agents pay for it as part of their marketing plan, but I really think it, would depend on the price of the house. You have to take it into consideration as far as your marketing costs and your budget for the month for your marketing, and if you want that to be part of your budget. If it's $1 million home and you're making $30,000 off the listing for your commission, then I would say you should pay for it. I think it's all, you know what I mean? It's all, it's up to you, and every situation is going to be different.
Okay,
And like I said, if they only want to, if you want to stage one room, it's going to be different than if you're staging a whole house. So every situation is unique.
perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. The elements of super service are super sincerity, understanding, predictability, exceptionality, and responsiveness. You should have at least 100 people in your existing Mets in your database. Is that correct? Do you guys have about 100? Always be adding. Hand your business card out when you drive through Dunkin' Donuts. Hand your business card out to everywhere, because you just don't know when someone's going to need you, and you're just right there at the right moment. Always come from contribution. Don't be like just looking for business. Who do you know that I can help? Who can I help? Who has a need that, a real estate need that I can help? All right. This talks about ahas. Any ahas? Did you learn anything? Did you learn anything from me today?
I
Yes.
like the marketing plan, and because Kristen Buchert also mentioned this. Don't put things in your marketing plan that you don't plan on doing, because people will call you out on it.
Yeah, they will. They really will.
Yeah, make sure you go through and with the fine tooth comb and make sure you're going to do the things you're promising to do. So, I like
Yep.
that.
Yep. And do it consistently, so that, one house you sell you're not sending out postcards, and then another you are, and it gets confusing, and it also is a lot easier to track where your business came from if you're doing the same things for every home that you list. Some people do a pre-listing packet. Some people do a one-stop shop. I think it depends on the person, the house. If it's a family member, you do the CMA, you go over, you've already been in the house a million times in your life, you're at a cookout every weekend there. That's going to be different than, someone that you cold call and you need to see the house in order to price it, see the condition. As for business, prepare the CMA, learn your scripts and your pricing objection scripts, implement the 14-point marketing plan, effectively communicate with your sellers, and provide an excellent customer experience. And then when the deal is done and you got your check, put them in your database. Make sure you continue to communicate with them. Make sure you check in with them. Ask them, periodically for more business. Who else can I help? And that way you will end up doing your business by referral, which is the best way to do it.
I really liked your idea of when you do the listing presentation, like bring a gift.
Yep.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's just a personal touch. And I
Yeah.
think that it sets you apart from other agents that are just coming in with facts and figures.
Right.
This is their home. They may have been in it for a while. They're emotionally connected to it. So you just want to, and talk to them about, what they love about the house and what have they done. And, they'll tell you all kinds of stories. I'm a talker. I don't mind sitting there for a while.
Right.
So find things in the house when you're walking through to connect with them. oh, you have, you have dogs, I have a dog, you fish, my husband has a boat, like what, he doesn't, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
Find,
right,
find
right.
ways to, connect with them as they're showing you the house. If it's someone that, you're just meeting, or you're getting business from an open house or things like that. And you want to say, what is the most important thing to you? Is communication the most important thing? Is pricing the most important thing? Is marketing the most important thing? You want to find out what's going to make a difference for them, especially if they're interviewing multiple agents. They want to know that you care about them. It's not all about you. It's not, what can I do? It's, what do you need me to do for you, and what's important to you? And the way that you communicate with them it's going to stand out in their minds, especially. You could have 3 agents that give them the same price on the house, but if they connect with you, they're going to hire you.
Mhm.
And always follow up. Always follow up. It's important to check in. It's important, even if there's nothing going on, to say, I just want you to know, I haven't received any calls. I haven't, but this is what I'm doing. And that way, they'll wait to hear from you again. Do you guys have any questions? It's 2:40 just about right now. Has this been like how long it's normally been, like an hour and a half to almost 2?
They vary, I think.
Yeah, it depends on the class.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sarah, do you do like a pre-listing and then presentation and then like a listing presentation? Do you do it like the 2 parts or one, or does it depend?
I usually just do the one. I go on public record and I confirm with them over the phone, like, okay, public record says you're a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, Cape style home built in 1954. Is that correct? If they say yes, okay, great. I'll run the numbers. A lot of agents want to see the condition before they go back and do it, but I feel like personally, if I go in, I want to sign the papers, because if you leave, it gives an opportunity for someone else
Someone
to come
else.
sign the
Yeah.
papers. So I don't like to give that opportunity, which is also another reason why I give a range in the pricing. And then I print out all the pictures, because until I'm in the house and can actually see the condition of it, I don't want to put a number on it.
Okay.
And I want them to come up with the number, because honestly, it takes the liability off of you. If they want to go on the higher end, I talk about the appraisal process. I talk about this is how the appraiser is going to do it. So unless someone comes in with cash, we really can't go any higher than that higher amount, because there are no comps to support that. So, and I also say that buyers that are on the MLS are typically pre-approved. They're on the MLS in $50,000 increments. So if someone is pre-approved for 350, they're not seeing anything over 350, because that's what their agent put them on the MLS up to, right? So if you have someone that is, well, not 350, like 399, and they want to price it at 410 or 415, the people that are pre-approved or on the MLS, even if they have cash on hand, if they're pre-approved up to the 399, they're not even going to see your listing if we put it on for 410. So you're going to miss out on a whole pool of buyers and a whole pool of people. And it's my job to get the most exposure. So if we go on the lower end, I'd rather go on the lower end and get multiple offers, get you to the price that you want, and get you the most exposure possible. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
That's the tie down.
Dara, can you just explain what you say about the appraisal process?
The appraisal, so when I go in and I talk about how we go out in distance and we go out and go back in time. So what sold, 2 years ago has no bearing on today's market. So what sold a month ago, if it's a similar comp, is going to, it's going to be a comp that an appraiser uses. So I explain to them how I price a home. I say I go back in time and I go out in distance. So an appraiser is going to look at what has sold within, this neighborhood, what has sold within a quarter of a mile, and you keep going out until you find the comps that support that house. Comps that are similar in square footage, comps that are similar in beds and baths and style of house. If you can't find any within a quarter of a mile, you have to go out like 0.3, 0.35, 0.4, and then you might start finding some comps to support that. You also go back in time. So I look what has sold in the past month, what has sold in the past 3 months, what has sold in the past 6 months. And then if you have to go back even further, maybe 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. Usually by that point, you can find comps to support, the price that you want to price the house. But that's what an appraiser is going to do. So if we overprice the house, it's not going to appraise out. And if it doesn't appraise out, the buyer's not going to be forced to pay more than what the house is worth.
Thank you.
Did I answer?
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Okay, that made sense. Okay. Yeah. So when you explain it to a seller like that, they don't, and potentially they could end up taking less, or it's more time that they don't have in order to do all these negotiations. It's like, let's price it right, and even maybe a little bit lower will get you over asking. It'll still be within that range unless it's way above the range, and then you have to say, then you have to put the wording in the acceptance of the offer that the buyer's going to pay the difference in cash if it doesn't appraise. Does anyone else have any questions?
From when you do your listing presentation and they sign, what's your goal of a time frame to get that house on the market? Or does it depend on the condition of the house?
It depends on the condition. Sometimes I'll list a house and do a delayed listing, and I have to send them a whole bunch of clean out companies because, you always want to get the paperwork signed and have a goal date in mind. You can always extend it, but getting that paperwork signed is going to be really important, because then you can start to pre-market it. You can talk to other agents about it coming on, kind of get a little buzz going about it. You want to have time for the photographer to get out there and take pictures. So depending on his schedule, you want to have the first open house usually is the first showing, depending on the sellers. You want them to get the most exposure. If they start showing it on a Wednesday and they get an offer, but they say, no, we want to wait till the open house, they could lose that offer because the buyer might get pissed and be like, we gave you 24 hours to respond. So, what I typically like to do is put the property on the MLS, the beginning of the week, first open house that following Saturday, get pictures done ahead of time. Like usually if I go in on a Wednesday or a Thursday, schedule pictures for the weekend, get the listing in, get the pictures back, start pre-marketing it, mail out my just listed postcards, all of those things. And then, call around the open house, let them know that I'm hosting an open house and I'm inviting them to it. Do they know of anyone who's thinking of moving into the area? And this can all be done ahead of time. So, I like to kind of do it that way. I know that I think Ben and Kate do listings going on Wednesday, first open house on the weekend. So it really just depends on if you're ready to go at that point in time. You don't want to wait too long because people will forget about it.
Right, right.
If I get pictures on a Monday or
Are you
Tuesday.
joking?
Sorry? Oh, I think he didn't mute his thing. If I get pictures on a Monday or Tuesday, I will put it
Oh,
in.
sorry. Yelling at my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. I will, I'll put it in on a Wednesday, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So,
Now, how long does it stay new on MLS as a new listing? Isn't there like a time frame there?
I think the first 72 hours, I believe.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, I think it's like day 4, I think it switches, 3 or 4.
okay.
So, yeah, you don't want it on too long before you have the open house because
Right.
it accumulates the days on market
Right.
while you're waiting to actually have the first showing. So,
So now the coming soon on MLS is, I know, good for like 21 days. Could you
Yep.
extend it if you needed to?
I don't think you're allowed to.
Okay, all right,
Yeah. I think you have to take it off and then go back on as, when it's listed.
okay,
Yep. Because it's not really doing your seller a good service to put it out there and then people just keep looking, coming soon, coming soon. When is that stupid house coming on? And then
Right,
they forget
yeah.
about it and go look at other things. You don't want to, you don't want to put it out there forever and
Right.
then nobody looks at it, I'm going to kind of get that time frame down.
Right, okay,
Yep. I mean, now on your sign, if you put a coming soon rider on your sign, you're going to get phone calls about it and you could potentially get obviously more business that way if people are calling on your sign. You can talk about that house. You can talk about other houses. You can ask them if they have a house to sell. You can ask them if they, if they're not working with an agent, because you've already been in the house, you know what it looks like. You know if it's going to work for them based on what they're looking for. And, maybe you can show them something else and potentially get more business. So your coming soon rider shouldn't stay up forever again, but
right, right.
but you may get more business.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? No? All right, I think we can wrap it up. It's 10 of 3. I hope you guys
Thank you.
got some value out of this. Call me if you have any questions at all. I'm always available to talk. I mean, within reason, obviously, for the most part, but if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Dara.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Dara.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Good to see
Okay,
you.
have fun camping.
Oh, I will. You'll make some more money if you listen.
Exactly, I love that. Take care, Dara.
Top of mind.
Yes, exactly. I was on that Popeye website the other day checking out little things. And
Oh, cool.
I remember you had mentioned that a while ago, and it's pretty cool little site there.
Yeah. And even if you don't copy exactly, it gets the
Gives you definitely, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a great day. Bye,
Okay,
guys.
bye, Dara.
Bye.